My name is Krzysztof Czajka, and I will talk about two things today. It is about the feedback and candies. And this is my vanity slide. Every personality assessment scheme I went through says that I am an innovator, a startup person, and that's why I will talk about the innovation I made in Allegro around last year. It's about feedback. All of us are Agile enthusiasts, and we know that the good feedback is of paramount importance in Agile. But we don't always know how to make it, how to catalyze it, how to make it both frequent and valuable. So I will talk about the game, because in fact this is a game, and I'm sure that some of you will be inspired to try similar at your workplaces. Because why know this? Because this is very simple and this is powerful. And actually, although it was run in a big corporation, it can be done the same way in the small startup, in the middle company, or a big corporation. So let's start. I will talk about why we did it, how we did it, what were the tweaks to make the system better, and how we knew it will be a success before we launched it company-wide. And also we'll see examples of the best feedbacks people provided in this system. So let's start with why. Around the end of last year, we had a quarterly bonus system in Allegro. It had some drawbacks, and people were saying this is not very good. So I made a survey, and people said that actually every quarter it took an extra week to fulfill the system, so quite a long time. Also, it was based mainly on the management opinion. It was expected. All of us want the bonus to be expected, but actually bonus should be optional, right? Just for something we did, and this had a very great value. It took no collaboration into account. It also took no soft side of performance into account. And as the result of it, it actually had no impact on motivation. This is what the people said. And if it had, it was negative. At the same time, I came across the Merit Money by Jürgen Appello. And this is a very nice framework that actually addressed all of the issues I mentioned before. So it is based on the notion that the salaries should be expected, but bonuses not. It was based on the peer feedback, so it was not dependent on the management, it was democratic. It was immediate also, which was very important. So we made an experiment in Allegro, and I can admit that it was very hard to start it, because I approached two teams in Allegro and I said about the system, more or less, and they said, this is childish, this is stupid. We are developers, we don't play games like this. We do real things, not the stupid things. But then with the help of other Scrum Master, we approached another two teams, and they were cooperating closely to each other, and they were eager, oh, okay, let's try it. Not all of them, not the entire team, but some people, and they said, okay, let's try it, let's give it a try. This is the experiment. They were joined by another team, and this is how it started. And as it grew, I needed more help, because I was running the system alone almost. But with the help of other Scrum Masters from Allegro, we were able to make this system grow and grow. So, to sum it up, the experiment lasted 4 months. It took 3 teams at the beginning and 17 people. It was made in a fail-safe way, which means that the participation was optional. You could join it or leave it at any time. It was divided into weekly short iterations, so that we were seeing what were the results, and we could change it. It was as transparent as possible, and I will talk about this later. and it involved no money at the beginning, just candies. So the currency were candies. So first part of this is a feedback. Here you can see what everybody at the beginning of each iteration get, which is 4 cards called credits. In this credit, there's a name, the issue date, and the name of the experiment. And these 4 cards I could give to anybody, I think, increase the performance of the company. So, to explain it better on the live example, okay, you smiled at me, and I would like to appreciate it. Thank you very much. Your smile just gave me feel better, and my presentation is better. And if this presentation is better, it actually increases the performance of the entire Agile, for example, right? So, in my specific personal definition of performance, this was it. Soft side, right? So, the tokens, the credits I gave you, just received 2 kinds of value. The first value was the value of appreciation. When you look at it, you can say, okay, this guy from the just gave it to me because I smiled, great. But the second value is the potential value that it can be exchanged for something sweet. So this was this was an easy part. The harder part is the bonus distribution. So right now you could think that this is a kudos system, but this is not. This is the second part. So we have right now in this iteration 4 credits in the system. Let's have a budget for it. The budget is 4 candies, 4. So this is 1% budget. But for the sake of this example, let's say that somebody, I don't know, CEO or Piotr, says that the overall performance of Agile, for example, was 50%, which is not true, right? So he says that the half of the presentation were very good and half of the presentation were bad. So we have 50%. So we will deduct some candies from it. And right now, as you can see, we have 4 credits, 2 candies, which means that, whoa, which means that you can give 1 candy, right, for these 2 credits. Do you want one? Yeah, of course. So this is actually the bonus distribution part. Thank you. But we said that the bonus cannot be expected, right? So we have another thing here, which is tossing a coin. I have a coin. And it had, whoa, it's tossing too early. It had heads and tails, right? So I toss it. It's got heads, and it means that this is your lucky day. You can have your bonus. But what if it was the other side of the coin? If it was the other side of the coin, it will mean that the budget is put to the next iteration. And then if somebody puts another part of the budget to this next iteration, it gets summed up. And if we have we are lucky, we'll distribute the budget. If not, it will move to the next iteration. So this is this example, right, we had. Transparency. There were several spreadsheets to show exactly what was going on in the system. In this spreadsheet, this is accountant thing, so I will just tell you that you could get information who gave the credit to whom, and then when it was exchanged to candies. But let's leave it. Tweaks in the system. So this is the credit at the beginning. So as I said, there's a name, there's an issue date, there's a name of the experiment. So the first thing we saw is that people were giving this credit to somebody who had no idea what is this system about. So we made a tweak we made a wiki page, and the link to this wiki page was put to the credit. Another thing was that we saw that sometimes people were using this credit to write what I gave this credit to you for. So, for example, I would write, "Thank you for your smile." So we made a special place to put this appreciation written part on it. And it was a very good change. The next one is the tweaks about the example we have with Piotr and the AgileByExample. So we have 50%, but who says and what happens? What we bring this information from? So for the beginning, it was financial results of the company, but it was not very good. It wasn't changing very often. So we changed to the number of releases. So if there were 2 releases in a week, and one was failed, then we mean that this is 50% of the budget. If 2 were failed, there are no candies in the budget. If 2 are succeeded, 4 or how many there are tokens in the system, that many candies will have. And then there was a final change which was, in my opinion, perfect one. We just based it on the opinion of the product owners on the performance of their teams. And the average of this opinion was the percentage of the budget. And it actually gave additional feedback loop from the product owner to the team. Currency tweaks. We started with this very small candies. There were several different things, and then we ended up with fudge candies. And when we introduced the fudge candies, people just went crazy. They were exchanging credits for tons of these fudge candies. I don't know why. So for English-speaking person, I can say the fudge candies means krówki, which is cows in Polish, and this is why we have cows in the picture, of the candies. But actually, people went crazy. The final outcomes from this experiment, it was nearly 1/5 of the credits in the system were given to somebody else, which is not a very good result because we had a lot of credits in the system not given away. But the good thing was that 97%, and I can repeat it, 97% of the people said they want to stay with the system after the experiment ended. And this is why I knew that it will be a success before we launched it in the company. Can you imagine this experiment? You have such a number? And the number of people in the system tripled in 4 months. It was 17 at the beginning, it was 22, it was 52 at the end. 65 of the credits which were given away were exchanged to candies. So such a good number. But you can see that 35 were just not exchanged. Sometimes people were not willing to exchange for candies because they had a credit with the appreciation written on it. We were taking the credits from the people, so they didn't want to exchange for candies. And 16, and this is a very interesting number, 16% of the credits were given to somebody not from my team. So a lot of credits were distributed between teams, which will mean that there's a very good cooperation between teams, I think. Okay, two comments. The first one is that there's a possibility to give the credit to the entire team. So I don't know who from the team helped me, or entire team helped me. But we saw that people are not willing to do it because they just want to give candy to a specific person, not the entire team. And the second one is that actually we're not allowed to play with the money. So we were not allowed to play with the bonus. So it stayed at the currency of candies, actually. Okay, so at the end of the experiment, people said such things about the system. First one, for the users, is the visible proof of the appreciation. The second one is the easy and physical way to appreciate somebody. The next one is that what was catalyst of appreciation, which means that I would be more eager to appreciate somebody when I have it in comparing to the situation I don't have this card. So I have this left, I have to appreciate somebody. It was immediate, I could give this appreciation right away. And it was a nice moment of the appreciation. And also about the motivation. The motivation was high at the moment I get this card. And also when I had, for example, I don't know, weekday, I could look at these cards and my motivation would be better, right? I have appreciation. And also, of course, the possibility to exchange it to something sweet. From the Scrum Master point of view, this gave strong and immediate feedback loop in the team and between teams, and also the second feedback loop from product owner to their teams, because they were saying what was the performance of their teams every week. And also feedback from, I said it. And fun and motivation, of course. From the product owner point of view, it was another way to impact the team. Okay, your performance is 65%, do something with it. We can talk. And the last one is the examples of the best feedbacks we get, but this was after the experiment ends, when you can see that it's about asking important questions. It's about helping somebody hungry. It's about saying the painful truth. It's about being a true leader. About being earlier in the work. And about being who they are. And this is the best one. And we had so many credits after the iteration that we were able to make this collage. And as you can see, the cow has the best of near the head. And this is the best of. This is the best of. This is in Polish, and this is full of emotion. So I'm not sure I can show it to you because there's explicit language. For somebody who is speaking English only, I can say that this is not translatable. I'm not able to translate it well. Do you want to see it? Here it is. For your own responsibility, right? Thank you.